William James by Daniel Cruz, Jennifer Perez, Stephanie Rodriguez, and Peter Martinez. William James was born January 11, 1842, and died August 26, 1910. He was an American philosopher and psychologist who was also trained as a physician. The first educator to offer a psychology course in the United States, William James is reconsidered by many to be the most insightful and stimulating of American philosophers, as well as the second of the three great pragmatics. James earned a medical degree. James decided not to practice medicine and started teaching psychology and philosophy. James came up with the theory of emotion. Theory holds that emotion is the mind's perception of physiological conditions that result from some stimulus. He was the first to introduce the term stream of consciousness. His theory of the self and his view of human belief as Owen Terry Towers' conscious action raised issues that require him to turn to philosophy. There he developed his pragmatic epistemology, which considers the meaning of ideas and the truth of beliefs, not abstractly, but in terms of the practical difference they can make in people's lives. He explored the implication of this theory in areas of religious belief, metaphysics, human freedom, and moral values, and social philosophy. Developed the Jamesian theory of self. James' theory was divided into two main categories. The first was the me self, and the second was the I self. The me self was broken down into three categories: the material self, the social self, and the spiritual self. The I self was classified as the thinking self. His contributions included critiques of long-standing philosophical positions on such issues as freedom versus determination, correspondence versus coherence, and dualism versus materialism, as well as a thorough analysis of a phenomenological understanding of thyself and consciousness, a formal-looking conception of truth, a thorough-going metaphysical pluralism, and a commitment to a field view of an agency in connection with communal and social concerns. Despite his growing about lab work, William James conducted extensive experiments on the mechanisms of dizziness, studies that are little known in psychology circles. All his life, William James, Harvard philosopher and psychologist, suffered from seasickness. James was hired to write a book on the emerging field of psychology called The Principles of Psychology. Here are some of his quotes. Man, biological considered, and whatever else he may be in the bargain, is simply the most formidable of all the beasts of prey, and indeed the only one that preys systematically on its own species. The second quote. An idea to be suggestive must come to the individual with the force of a revelation. The